What is up, everybody? We are back for part 17 of A Beggar's Journey. Usually I have something to say at the beginning of these videos, but today I'm going to keep it pretty short and simple. And thank you guys for all the support you've shown ever since the first episode of this series. And of course, if you want to keep up with this comprehensive documentary, then I suggest you look down to where it says subscribe and give it a click. It's a simple task, won't even take you a second. Well, unless you're visually impaired, then I kinda have to wonder how you even got into this video in the first place. But nonetheless, without wasting any more of your time, let's hop right back into the lore of DarkSydePhil. On December 2nd, 2020, Phil sat on his pre-stream and once again ranted about how other streamers were making more money than him, just from simply playing or reacting to popular video games like Fortnite or Among Us. And yet again, he showed off that jealousy he had, that these type of content creators were the ones who was earning the most revenue, while people like him, who's had this supposed legacy he likes to boast around, is still sitting at the bottom of the food chain, begging for the scraps that any one of his deadhead supporters could give him. But somewhere in that gin-soaked brain of his, he had the audacity to say that what he does is more meaningful than what those other streamers are doing. Yeah, begging people for tips and banning anyone in your chat who might have the slightest criticism about how you run your streams is supposedly a more meaningful form of content than whatever those other meme streamers are doing. And that's the term DSP came up with for these types of people, a meme streamer. A streamer who apparently plays games made for children, and instead of looking dead inside for 6 hours straight and playing the game completely isolated away from society, doing his best to avoid any real form of conversation besides reading whatever the hell goes on in chat, they seem to enjoy what they're doing. Not only are they more positive and respond well to feedback their audience gives, they also invite friends or collaborate with other streamers to help boost their numbers. But fuck any of that. Who cares about doing shit that's gonna help amplify your career? In Phil's eyes, that's not the correct approach when it comes to streaming. No, apparently the way he does it is the best and only way you should be doing things. And anyone who says otherwise, well, they're just a brainwashed moron. A stupid kid that doesn't even know what real streaming is supposed to look like. It's totally okay to nearly fall asleep playing Yakuza, or pausing your stream full stop to shit talk one of your fans for stepping out of line. Hell, I guess it's even okay to jerk one out right before you get into gameplay, right? I'm sure that's the unfiltered raw type shit Phil and his fans like to represent. I guess those other guys have their priorities fucked up. How dare they try to actually make their streams worth watching?
Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, I have something very quickly I want to talk about, alright? It has come to my attention that the kind of content creation that I do is meaningful to you, which I'm very happy that there are people that feel that what I do has meaning, and a lot of people, I guess, would feel that what I do is very different from what a lot of content creators do, for a very good reason, alright? If you don't notice, when I'm playing games and when I'm doing my playthroughs and coverage, my goal is, number one, to obviously put out an entertaining stream for you guys. That's priority. If no one's entertained, then what was the point of doing the stream? But as someone who's definitely been around for a long time, 12 years as a content creator, I strive to cover games, and when I'm enjoying a game, to play it at my own pace, all right, to try to explore all the facets of the game that I'm playing, whether it's side content, main story, or anywhere in between, and to basically put out an entertaining playthrough for you. All right, when I'm doing a stream or playing a game, I understand that I have two audiences. One that's a live audience that very much wants to interact with me and have a good time and talk about topics that maybe aren't related to the game, and that's okay. But also that there's a YouTube audience that watches my videos and they like watching it for the playthrough aspect. Oh, I'm going to see someone play a game from start to finish. I'm going to get to understand the bosses and all the gameplay elements and maybe use this as a judgment for myself whether or not I like a game or not. Okay? What I've seen at this point is that most people, I'm going to be honest here, most people on Twitch who are doing this for a living and are very popular, I'm talking the people who have 10 times the audience I do, don't do that. Okay? They are in it because they are, how can I say it? I don't want to say, by the way, I'm not talking shit about anyone else. I'm not saying this is the wrong way to go about it. I'm just saying I've noticed a distinct difference between them and me. All right? All right, let me explain how I came to this revelation, and then maybe you'll understand it better. Okay? So yesterday, I'm off from streaming. And I'm just curious, gee, what do I want to talk about on my pre-stream tomorrow? And I start reading the threads on Twitter. So you want to know what happened yesterday? Fortnite had another season-ending event. Like Fortnite. Okay, guys? Fortnite. A game that, let's be honest here, those of us who are heavily into gaming, we right now are so interested in all the giant major gaming releases that have come out in the last few weeks because of the launch of the new consoles. We're having so much fun with games right now. Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, Demon's Souls, Sackboy, Call of Duty, Yakuza 7. And that's just a few, all right? Fortnite is the last fucking thing where any of us are thinking about right now. Like, Fortnite, like, been there, done that. That game had its time in the sun, and yeah, it has viral popularity amongst a group of kids who jump in and play on a daily basis for the kiddie aspect of it. But these aren't people who are heavily into gaming, doing major playthroughs of giant games. You see what I'm saying? It's a very different audience. The way I see it with the Fortnite audience these days, and by the way, again, I'm not talking shit about it, all right? But the way I see it with the Fortnite audience, it kind of reminds me of almost like esports leagues. If you're not into esports, you probably know nothing about esports. But if you're outside of that bubble, it's like non-existent. You don't hear about it. You don't care about it. I almost feel like that's what Fortnite has become. It's a game where a bunch of kids play it all the time. This is still their gaming focus, is Fortnite. But outside of that, mainstream gamers who are into games, what the fuck do we care about Fortnite? We're playing all the great new releases that have come out this past month, and we could give two shits about playing Fortnite right now, right? But, you guys have to understand, and this is me kind of going outside of my comfort zone, going on social media yesterday, that game is still insano popular with kids. So they're making so much fucking money hand over fist on that game, still to this day, years later, okay? That every time they do a season-ending event, it's like virally popular. I'm not shitting you. There's content creators on Twitch who had their biggest day streams ever. All they were doing was watching the trailer for the new season of Fortnite. They had hundreds of thousands of viewers. They made tens of thousands of dollars watching the trailer for the new season of Fortnite. Okay? That's wild and insane, and that's something I would not do. And you guys know that. You guys know that for me, I don't care about that. I've never been into the virally popular games. I mean, yeah, I'll play Fall Guys, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't get heavily into it like a lot of other people did. Same thing with Fortnite. I've played it. I've been there, done that. I thought it was an okay game, and then I didn't really enjoy it that much and moved on, right? But this is what I mean. Like, it's just crazy. There is an entire culture of people who are playing games, streaming games, and watching game streams that are not in line with the kind of stuff that I do here on my streams. I do major game playthroughs of big games. Yes, I'll also play retro games. But you see what I do? I'm a content creator who grew in popularity on YouTube when it was important to be doing full playthroughs of games. I don't just sit here every day and say, okay, today we're going to play the virally popular game, and we're going to play it for 2 weeks, and then we're going to drop it, and we're going to go to the next virally popular game. We're going to play it for a week. We're going to drop it, and then we're going to do this because it's, Fortnite's hot again. So now today we're going to watch the new trailer. We're going to play Fortnite for 2 weeks, and then we're going to do the next virally popular game. All right? That's never what I've been about. It's never what I'll be doing, because I feel that the kind of content that I do is more meaningful. And I'm going to be honest with all of you. I love what I do for a living. Even though I'll never be a big-time Twitch streamer, I'll never be one of these guys, because that's not what they seem to do. They seem to be, I have to jump on the new meme, I have to jump on the new game, I have to sit here and literally, the content they make doesn't seem to have meaning. It's more just have a few jokes and positive shit today with a bunch of kids on my stream and make an insane amount of money doing it. But they don't do full game playthroughs, right? You're not going to see them sitting down and playing fucking Cyberpunk, and playing it start to finish or anything like that. That's not what they do, okay? If you're a gamer like me, who you're not just jumping on a stream to play a game while it's virally popular and then you drop it, or you know what I mean? You're a meme. I almost want to call them a meme streamer. Your point when you come on a stream is not to do a playthrough, not to do meaningful gameplay content. But all you're looking to do is make a bunch of memeing jokes with kids all day, okay? And by the way, again, I'm not criticizing that kind of content creation and saying it's bad. I'm just saying, holy shit, is that so different from what I do? Okay? Seriously. It's so different. Meme streaming for the kiddies is so ridiculously different than actually being a content creator who does playthroughs and meaningfully covers games. There's no way you could say there's nothing going on in gaming right now. The only way is if you are one of these meme streamers who all you care about is making jokes with kids. Well, I'm not going to maintain a viewing audience for Assassin's Creed Valhalla with a bunch of attention... how can I say? Kids with short attention spans aren't going to sit there and watch you play Cyberpunk. They're not going to sit there and watch you play Assassin's Creed. They're not going to sit there and watch you play Yakuza 7. You have to be someone who only plays these virally popular meme games. Among Us, Fortnite, Minecraft. You have to jump on every memeing bandwagon to retain your audience. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if that's what I did every day? I can't. I would hate my life. I seriously would. I would hate coming to stream every day. Every day I just basically got to sit here and do stupid meme jokes with you guys as I play games that are completely frivolous and have no real meaning. They're not meaningful gameplay experiences to sit down and fuck around with Fortnite every day.
And forget about trying to edit content for your YouTube channel. All of that is just a waste of time. Because in Phil's eyes, streaming is way harder than making edited videos anyway.
Westside Rascal cheered and he said he feels preemptive reactionary commentary is a hard part. It is. Maintaining commentary on a game for an extended period of time live without editing and actually entertaining an audience, interacting with them, keeping them happy is way more challenging than what I used to do on YouTube. It just is. What I used to do on YouTube was just make up shit and, you know, talk out of my ass and stuff. Now it's way harder to actually say pertinent things.
Then the question that immediately comes to mind upon hearing something so outrageous like this is if streaming is such a mentally straining form of content creation, then why wouldn't he do something that's more laid back and chill like editing videos is allegedly supposed to be? Well, the simple answer is because Phil is full of shit. Obviously, streaming is what helps him make the most money. And if he was to give that up and stick to strictly uploading videos, then we all know he loses a good majority of his revenue. But what do I know? I'm not a hardworking streamer like Phil is. I guess I'm just someone who's taking the easier way out in terms of generating content. I don't know. But moving on, Phil continued on his envious crusade by discussing content creators who were receiving early gifts and getting review copies of Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red. Phil of course was left out of this social event because Phil doesn't know the definition of being social. And instead of ignoring this, or congratulating the people who received those early review copies, and could have possibly talked about the features that were being shown off in game, he would rather instead bash those creators by calling them paid shills, and disavow the idea of review copies as a whole.
The first thing I have to talk about is that this morning, all of a sudden, in synchronicity, a ton of people, you know, the golden selected streamers and content creators of the internet, the ones that are in good graces with game publishers, etc., all received special care packages from CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077, including an action figure of John Silverhand, a very special branded stream deck that has the yellow and black color scheme of the game, a bunch of PR materials, you know, so collector's edition shit, you know. Now, surely, absolutely surely, getting that special care package 1 week before the release of the game would not influence those content creators in any way, shape, or form when it comes to their opinions of the game. I mean, why would that happen? Why would sending someone a special bag of swag, right, influence anything about their thoughts about a game? I mean, I couldn't imagine. You know? I mean, why would sending a game console to someone months in advance, completely for free, influence their thoughts about said game console even though they're under an NDA and they can't even criticize it? I mean, why would flying someone out to Europe to a castle for an exclusive hands-on preview of The Witcher 3 influence their thoughts about the game? I mean, why would that happen, right? Right? Literally, every person this morning who posted up a post and said, oh, look at this swag bag that I got from CD Projekt Red, is advertising the game. And you ate the advertisement. You slurped it right up. All delicious. That's all it is. It's paid advertisement. Now, did those people actually receive money? No. They received product. Product is still payment. And they put out the advertisement in conjunction with receiving the product. So, if you watch that kind of content creator, all right, if you support that kind of content creation, you are supporting paid advertisement. You are supporting someone who likely gets most of the stuff that they need for their business completely for free. You're supporting someone who likely half the time when they're talking is actually talking under an NDA and probably is kissing a game's butt simply because they benefit for doing so. Okay? So, again, that's fine. If you like that, support it. But be cognizant of what you're supporting. These are people who likely are getting everything they need for their business for free. They probably are contracted to make big money behind the scenes anyway. So think about who you support. You know, people who need the actual crowdfunding to keep afloat versus people who are getting everything for free and are paid advertisers. All right? Just throwing that out there. You do with it what you will. Here come the detractors trying to spin it in a negative way. Phil's salty because he didn't get a swag bag. I don't want an action figure of Cyberpunk. I don't need a Stream Deck because I have one over there, brand new in box that I can't use because I don't have the operating system that supports it. I don't need anything in the swag bag. I don't care about the swag bag. I likely would have been a piece of junk, much like all the loot crates and shit that I got over the years when I had that sponsorship years and years ago. It would have sat around and got thrown out. So I don't need the swag bag. I'm just saying, those who got it and are advertising it today, there's an agenda behind it. Don't be gullible. Okay?
Not only that, but he had to once again stroke his inflated ego by stating he could have gotten an early review copy of the game just like everyone else.
There are two groups of people who are playing the game today. The first group is people who received early review copies, who are only able to do text-based reviews up to now. They were not able to show video footage of the game at all until today. And the embargo lifted today, so those who already had review copies now can finally go out there and stream the game and play the game. Today is the day they're allowed to do that. All right? So you're probably seeing many popular streamers who got early review copies now playing the game because they have permission to do so. All right? The other group of people are people who just happened to get the game early through various methods. Some people who had ordered this game through retail actually got the game last week. I saw people posting up pictures on social media. Look, I got it super early. I can't play it yet because of the embargo. If I put up videos, you know, CD Projekt Red will give me copyright strikes, but when the embargo lifts, I'll play it. And that's what it is. People have been sitting on this game for like a week waiting to play it on the internet if they happen to get an early copy. I'm not doing any of that. I'm doing just like what normal people like you are going to do. I'm going to buy the game when it releases on the PlayStation Network store, and I'm going to play it tomorrow, the day that it's supposed to be publicly available for all of you. All right? And some people already this morning on the stream chat, well, Phil, why didn't you get the early copy and this and that? I already explained a million times. I'll explain it one more time in a very short form. I don't believe in early review copies. I feel that this practice is incredibly outdated. It was needed in the 1990s when people needed to put out print form media to review games early. But now we have the internet. We don't need early review copies anymore. The whole process of some elitist group of influencers and or mainstream games journalists getting early review copies and putting them out is incredibly outdated, and in some cases can even be harmful. And in the case of Cyberpunk 2077, this might actually be the case. And it blows my mind. It does. It absolutely blows my mind that people still care about this. And then people still argue with me about it. Oh, no, Phil, it needs to exist because of this. No, it doesn't. Here's the truth of the matter. If people had self-responsibility and people had an iota of self-control, if you're on the fence about a game, let's say for Cyberpunk, you're not 100% sold on this game yet. You don't know if you want to get it yet. All right? Instead of relying on early reviews to judge whether or not you want to play this game and then rushing on release day and buying it based on the early reviews, how about you wait a day and you wait for actual people to play the game and then tell you what they think, right? Like right now, no one knows how this game is going to play on PS5 except for those who got the early copies through luck, okay? So those who are lucky enough that they got like Best Buy sent it to them early, they're playing the PS5 version right now. So maybe today you'll actually get some legitimate information or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But why did Phil not get an early review copy? I don't know, because I don't care. I don't ask for early review copies. All right? I have a 12-year legacy of content creation. I have a dedicated viewer base that believes my opinions on games are valid. They find my input very, very important and interesting. Why else would they be watching my gameplay content to begin with, right? And I know that if I felt like getting it, I could go through the hoops of talking to the PR departments of these games or the studios and registering my, because you have to register as a content creator and all of that, and show, here you see, here's my views, and here's this and that. And I could jump through the hoops and be schmoozy with these guys and get early review copies, all right? You want to know how I know I could do it? Because I know people way, way, way smaller than me who can do it. They get review copies easily. These companies are happy to provide review copies to someone who's going to give exposure to a game. But there's two problems with that. The first is, I'm not going to kiss a game's ass. All right? I've never done that. I'm always honest. And these companies are very skeptical of someone getting an early copy and then slamming a game.
Now, does this sound familiar to you? Because it does to me. And that's because he said the same exact shit going over the whole PS5 situation that happened last month in November.
Welcome to Snap City Cheers. If Sony offered you a PS5 early, you would decline it. That would be tough to do. It's very simple. If Sony offered me an early PS5, I would say to them, I will only accept this if you allow me to be honest about the console. If I have a criticism, I want to be able to give it. And if they say, no, there's a review embargo, you can't give a criticism when you get it, I would decline. I would say I don't want it. That's the God's honest truth. I can't not be honest. I can't just be a PR machine. I can't be a fucking paid advertisement. I'm just not me. That's never been me. And that's why I didn't seek the early consoles. Guys, I want you to understand something, all right? I have daily viewership. If you actually look at unique viewers on Twitch, over 1,000 unique viewers watch me on Twitch every day. I have hundreds of millions of views and a 12-year legacy on YouTube. Is there a lot of negativity associated with me? Yes, but at the same time, I give exposure to games. All the time behind the scenes, I get people contacting me about, will you advertise my game? Will you show off my game? Now, admittedly, it's mostly indie games because those are the guys that are most desperate for exposure. But if I actually worked with a PR firm, because there's these different PR companies for various things. There's a Sony, there's a Microsoft one, there's other ones for like Bethesda and stuff. If I worked directly with those people, chances are I would get advanced release copies of games. I would get advanced consoles. There are channels on YouTube and Twitch that have 1/10 the amount of viewers and following that I have, and they got early consoles and they get review copies of games. It's actually not that hard these days, as long as you can show that you have consistency in your work ethic and you have a dedicated audience that will actually be influenced by things you say and do. You can get things for free. All right?
Now, I don't like repeating myself, but Phil, nobody is gonna fuck with you with your kind of track record on the internet. You're not this icon of the gaming industry. It's all make-believe. You're just a poser. I'm sure you would have had more merit behind the stance you're taking if it wasn't for the fact that you have received early review copies of games before in the past. One of those games being Elo Hell, and the only reason he ever got that game early is because the developers didn't do their research into who DSP was, and they even admitted themselves that they made a mistake in sponsoring his streams. The simple truth is no big gaming company would ever want to use Phil streams as a way to promote their games or consoles, because if they take one quick Google search, they're gonna find that his history doesn't paint a very flattering image compared to those meme streamers he likes to drag on about. Regardless of that, another thing he brought back was that the Game Awards was approaching, and he feared that The Last of Us 2 was gonna win, due to gaming journalists having very biased opinions.
We're 1 week away from the Game Awards. All right? It's just been revealed that The Last of Us 2 is not the shoe-in favorite for the viewers' pick. It's Ghost of Tsushima by over 2% of the vote. So what happens? Oh, all of a sudden, magically, a second trailer for the game is released for the other protagonist, and every single person who worked on the game, including games journalists, as well as voice actors, as well as the game head of the game themselves, all tweet at once saying the game is so great. I wonder how that happened. It must have just been an extreme coincidence. Right? Anyway. That being said, guys, if you want to vote on the Game Awards, you can. And this morning they did narrow down the categories. I guess what they did is for the viewer's choice, they had like more categories at first. But today they narrowed it down to just the top 5 for the people who had already voted. So you can go vote. However, just to forewarn everyone, Bug Snacks was not nominated in a single category, and therefore, because Bug Snacks was not nominated, it's obvious that these are all rigged polls, and it's just not valid anyway. So take it with a grain of salt. We all know that Bug Snacks is Game of the Year 2020. No one's going to deny that or even argue that fact. There's no way you could. So, that being said, you know, you're basically voting for second place no matter what you're voting on. Okay? Bug Snacks absolutely swept every category. So, okay. So, there's my spicy takes for the morning. I'm sure now, as usual, people will spin them to say that I hate, you know, I hate lesbians and I hate manly women and all that. Go ahead. Do whatever you want, you fucking morons. Okay.
Now, even though Phil has claimed he doesn't care about the Game Awards, he sure seems to care a lot about the fact that The Last of Us was on the fast track of winning it. And for someone who seemingly didn't care, it didn't stop him from going on Twitter to beg his fans or whoever it might concern to actively vote against The Last of Us 2. Now, apparently, this was in response to Neil Druckmann's tweet, asking people to vote for his game to win to stick it to the haters.
Snatch coming under a cheer. He says, now that Druckmann has apologized and removed his joke tweet, will you remove your joke tweet? Ask people to vote for Ghost of Tsushima and apologize like him. You said people are stupid and might not get jokes online. No. Because my tweet was not a joke. I said in my tweet, I felt Ghost of Tsushima was the best game in that lineup, and that if you feel the same way, please vote for it. That's what I said in my tweet. That's not mobilizing my viewership to vote and stick it to the haters, which is what fucking Druckmann did. He didn't even say vote because the game's good. He said stick it to my haters. Because he was being an irresponsible asshole. Alright? That's not what my tweet said, so I don't need to delete my tweet. No one called me out for my tweet because there's nothing hypocritical about it. However, you are a dummy.
And I find it funny how Phil wants to call him out on this behavior, yet he does the exact same shit. He tells his viewers to donate to his streams to help fight back and stick it to his detractors, so it's really the pot calling the kettle black in this type of situation. But despite all of Phil's efforts, his rally against Neil Druckmann and the Game Awards eventually failed, as The Last of Us 2 won Game of the Year for 2020.
And now, the Game of the Year award goes to The Last of Us Part 2.
Is this like a cruel joke?
Now, if you want my opinion, I definitely believe that Ghost of Tsushima was the better game that year. The storytelling was far more superb than The Last of Us 2, which seemed to alienate and divide what was a united fan base with its storytelling. And I'm sure a lot of us agree that the Game Awards are not a good representation of what we truly believe are the best games of the year. And instead of throwing a hissy fit about the way the Game Awards is operated, Phil could simply choose to do what we all do when we hear something about the Game Awards. We'll just ignore it. We don't need these corporate guys to tell us what the best game of the year is. We pretty much decide that for ourselves. For some reason, Phil just felt as if he needed to fight this aimless battle, in my assumption, to hang on to this moniker of being a real gamer, a man of the people. But the only problem with that is, nobody really gave a fuck about the Game Awards in the first place. So in conclusion, it just made him look like a moron for trying to fight against something he really didn't have any power to change. On September 28, 2020, CashNet USA released an article showcasing the highest paid Twitch streamers on the website. And on that list, it exposed that DSP had the most generous fans. And once this information got back to DSP in December, he of course did what we all expect Phil to do, and denied the fact that he was making so much money off of bits.
50-Bit Quanch here talking about some article online, CashNet USA, never even heard of it, basically outlining all kinds of information regarding Twitch streamers. And apparently they made an article in late September that no one saw until today. Somehow today people are talking about it, claiming that I have the most generous and supportive viewers, because if you take the amount of bits that I get and divide it by the amounts of subscribers that I have on my channel, overall on Twitch, I get the most bits per sub. Now, I looked at the article myself and it's very confusing. The number of subs that they list are wrong. Completely wrong. Because, I mean, this year alone, it says that I had 600 subs, and I know this year I barely ever dipped to only 600 subs, if I even did. I've been above 600 subs for quite some time. I don't know where the bit data is coming from, because I actually took a look at what they said, and I can't, that doesn't really jive with what I'm seeing as results of my channel. I guess what they're saying is they went for, who knows where they pulled this data from. Doesn't seem to be accurate, alright? Now, even if the data was accurate, that's cool. Because you know what that means? That's something pretty positive. That means that even though I am not a giant streamer on Twitch, my viewers are supportive of me. They like what I do. They like the style of content I put out that is different from a lot of other streamers, and they support it. It's a very positive article in that regard. I just wish the data made sense, because I looked at it myself. A lot of people tweeted me this during the break, and I started looking it up. I was like, none of this looks correct to me. Like, either this data is like, maybe they're looking at data from 2 years ago or something, you know? But it doesn't seem accurate at all, all right? But what I can tell you is you guys have been incredibly, incredibly supportive this year. I know that. I'm happy for that. I'm grateful for that. Thank you guys, okay? Steven Seagull plays Galsiv. Cheering says, don't fight the data, just accept it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to fight the data. I don't understand the data. It doesn't seem to be accurate at all. Just a cursory glance at it. Looking at the data, I'm like, when did I have only 600 subs in 2020? I couldn't tell you when I had only 600 subs, so whatever. If the data is good, I mean, the data actually says something positive, so I'm certainly not gonna be upset about it. Okay. All right. Here we go, guys. Let's get my headphones on here. Some Quan said it wasn't counting gifted subs at all. Really? Really? If it wasn't counting gifted subs at all, could that even still be accurate? Maybe? I guess that would, if that's the case, that would assume that I have between maybe 150 to 250 gifted subs a month, which could definitely be true. That could be true. Okay. The other thing is, though, even the cheering data doesn't seem to be accurate. Because if you do the math, if they're saying, I think what they said was over 3,000, or on average 3,500 bits per sub. And if you do the math, it still didn't make sense. Like, I actually checked against my data for this year, and it still didn't seem to make sense. It didn't seem to jive with any month in 2020. I just think what it is, here's what I think. I think that site somehow exported data from somewhere, some data dump, from some service or site, and did not actually vet the data at all. They just said, we're just going to trust that this data dump is correct. Kind of like how people used to actually judge DSP Gaming's performance on YouTube off of the data off of, what was that website that everyone used to use? You could use it for everything. You could find out what partnership network you were with. You could find out daily views. You could find out estimated income. And in reality, that Social Blade, that's what it was called. Yeah, that site, I'm being very honest with all of you, was never correct. There wasn't a single day that the data on Social Blade actually jived with my YouTube channel, because I used to actually trust it and judge off of it, and then I would look at my channel data and be like, that's not actually what the channel says. It was never correct. What it is, it's pulling data from some source that's an estimate, and it could be way off, and I get the feeling that's what this article is, but I don't really care. Again, the data is something positive, so it doesn't really matter if it's accurate or not, okay?
You gotta love the route he takes when it comes to this sort of thing. When he's told how much money his fans give him, the sheer amount of money they throw away just because they believe in his bullshit, his first instinct is to tell him it's wrong. Those numbers are fake news. They don't really give him that much money. He can barely afford to buy groceries every week and pay for all the bills inside his gated community. I guess this is what being a real streamer is all about. But this helps analyze one interesting detail in Phil's characteristics. DSP wants you to believe he's broke and struggling until his ego gets involved. Whenever DSP is told that he's being upstaged by someone else in terms of money making, then suddenly, making revenue isn't such an issue for him anymore. He's making a decent amount of money.
The hated one, to be 520 bits, says, other smaller streamers I watch don't mention money at all. They seem to get more steady tips. You thought about not talking about money at all. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not talking constantly about tips. Once or twice a stream, maybe, I'll talk about it. If I do talk about it, it's usually because people are asking me. So, stop that right now, and thank you for the cheer.
And by the way, that's absolutely ridiculous. I hate to tell you, but smaller streamers are not getting more contributions than I am. It's just not true. Smaller streamers are, they're lucky to get contributions. Very hard to get any kind of a following, any consistent contributions on Twitch at all. Alright? So you're just so full of shit.
But while we're on the topic of Phil and money issues, we once again brought back to Phil and his persistent troubles in dealing with chargebacks. And on December 5th, 2020, Phil dived into a massive rant against the detractors for manipulating their fan base into committing all these awful acts upon him unjustified.
But anyway, streaming wise, alright, it was a great day. We had fun on both streams. It was a good time. But behind the scenes, not so much. Because yesterday, I received so many chargebacks behind the scenes, it negated what I made on the streams. And, I'm not exaggerating here. It literally negated any contributions that I got on my streams yesterday. That's how many chargebacks came in. Now, the thing is, the good news is this is actually not as bad as it's been. It actually was way worse at one point. But I've been able to kind of at least put on a frontline defense here. When these fake tips are coming in, I usually can identify them and either screen. You guys know I screen them now. If I see a tip that's in a regular's name, I usually will ask around and say, is this regular here? Who is this person? and if they're not there to confirm that it's a tip from them, I refund it immediately. I usually am able to, stop that problem from happening on the back end. The problem is, it's not always that easy. There's people who come in here and, it's a name that I don't recognize, and a lot of these contributions are small that are now being charged back, and those are more easy to slip through the cracks. Okay, now, it just sucks because I've been getting like one a day, couple a day, and they're very small, and it's not a big deal, okay? But yesterday sucked ass, okay? Yesterday, I streamed. I had tons of fun streaming, and we had great streams together. I did raise stuff on the streams. It wasn't that you guys didn't contribute. You did. But it was all negated by chargebacks. That's not cool. Putting out a full day of fun gameplay and work, honestly, and getting nothing for it. Imagine you went to work one day, and, you felt like you did a lot of great productive stuff, and you get told, well, you're just not getting paid for today. Oh, thanks. Sounds great, right? And again, it's not even that the people who enjoyed your content did contribute. It was taken from you by a scumbag, okay? Pretty fucked up. So, I'm not going to dwell on this all day long. I'm not. But I'm just being honest and upfront with you guys like I always am. Yesterday sucked because of that. Today, it would be nice if I could make up some of that, considering I'm a whole day in the hole here for the week. DarkSydePhil cheered. And he says, if big highlight channels demonetize their content, would you view them differently? Wouldn't it be free advertisement for the streams then? If I was a Twitch streamer, I like videos of me getting thousands of views daily, sending people to my Twitch. Allow me to clarify something. All right? Phil of 2020 is not the same of Phil of 2012. A lot has changed in the last 8 years since This Is How You Don't Play started on YouTube. I really don't give two shits if people make This Is How You Don't Play videos. Why would I care about that? Everyone says I suck at games. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Here's what I do care about. Actual hurtful slander. Meaning, these people who think that they're funny saying shit about my family members, my wife, making shit up about me abusing my cat, right? Saying really fucked up things that are not true at all. Zero substantiation. But they have made that into an actual part of their content, like a meme that runs through their content. That's not funny. There's a difference between Phil sucks at games and let's highlight all the times that Phil's terrible on his streams and bad at games. That's fine. That's content that I've put out there. That's 100% truthful because it's there in front of you, right? Even if you show it out of context, for example, there are very much people who will act like when I play a From Software game, that all I do is fail. Here's Phil every death from Demon Souls. And they'll just show the deaths. They won't show, okay, here's a boss he beat on the first shot. Here's when he got through an area, Growl, he was parrying well at the beginning of the playthrough and all that. They won't show any of that. They'll just show the bad parts. Is that misrepresentative of my content? Yes. But at the very same time, okay, at the very same time, when you make a This Is How You Don't Play video, the people who are watching it should be smart enough to realize that's what the video is. It's a highlight of the worst moments. Okay? You see? So that being said, okay, you want to highlight the worst of me, go ahead. But then don't make shit up. And that's the problem. That's where I feel these people who make negative content about me constantly, that's what they don't understand. I'll give you a perfect example here. Earlier this year with the whole bankruptcy thing, all right, that was something that was very painful to me. That was something that was personal, that I didn't want it to go public. It had to go public because there were going to be public documents. And, of course, people were going to get wind of it, meaning I'm a public personality, right? I have a private life, but sadly, when you do file something for bankruptcy, it goes public. So people were going to know about this no matter what, all right? But the fact that people made up so much fake shit about me, there was no basis, factual basis, for the shit people were making up about me. They literally fabricated insane stories about me and then sent those stories to the parties involved in my bankruptcy to try to get the bankruptcy not to go through. All right, I just want you to think about this for a second. How crazy that is. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that it was the highlight channels that did that. It's not the people who make the negative content about me on YouTube who did that specifically. But you have to understand something. When your channel constantly slanders someone, lies about someone, or just pushes conspiracy theories without a factual basis, when all you do is sit there and make drama content about someone, there are dumb people. There are dumb people out there who believe it as a fact. Okay? There are dumb ass people who are so gullible, they won't understand that you're just memeing. They won't understand that you're trying to make a joke on someone's expense to get by yourself. All right? And I mean that. There are some people who actually think everything you say is true. And those people will then take the shit that you're pushing and they'll try to fuck with people's lives. That's exactly what happened to me. Do I think that it was LSB or Tevin or, you know, any of these people, what's the other guy, Soma Julius Cruz, where the fuck these people are? I don't even know. I just know their names because people repeat them like parrots in my chat. Do I believe that it was those people who specifically took their conspiracy theories about me and sent them to the people involved in my bankruptcy case to try to fuck my life over? No, I don't think that happened at all. I think what happened is they thought it was funny. They thought, oh man, look, I'm getting extra viewers on my streams the more drama I talk about, so let's just blow this story up. And then they got other people involved. They got internet lawyers and shit involved to try to talk about it. Everyone was fucking full of shit. Everyone just speculated with no facts, okay, for their own personal gain for like 3 months. It was like the hot topic of these idiots was to completely slander me and make shit up about me. And it really screwed me over this year. Like, I talked about this in my Thanksgiving video in detail, okay? But it really hurt me this year because it drew out my bankruptcy proceeding way longer than it should have been. It cost me money, all right, that I didn't have to spend. I had to spend to keep going because of this, all right? And they don't care, though, because they made out. They had months of content, months of memes, months of income from a bunch of drama queen idiot viewers, so they don't care that it actually hurt me to do the shit that they did, all right? And that's where if there's a difference between, I don't like Phil, so I'm just going to make this is how you don't play, make fun of his gameplay. Fine. You want to make highlights of stupid shit I do on my streams? That's public shit that I put out there. Go ahead and do it, all right? You want to say I'm terrible at games and make a highlight montage of me sucking at Demon Souls? Go right ahead. But the moment you talk about my family, who's not involved in my content, the moment you go behind the scenes of my streams and you try to pull shit out of thin air that's not true, but you push it as some kind of fact, even though it's just some weirdo conspiracy theory, you've actually gone to the realm of, what do they call it? It's not a psychopath, it's a sociopath. You only care about getting yourself over and making out for yourself, and you don't care about who else you hurt doing that. I was concretely hurt earlier this year by these people doing fucked up stuff, making stuff up about me and my family members. And it took time, money, stress. It took a lot out of me earlier this year. It really did, to be able to survive that. A lesser person maybe wouldn't have been able to. It was not easy. I was completely stressed out to my wit's end. I thought that I was possibly going to lose everything in my life. Everything. I could have lost everything. Okay? Because of you people who did that. All right? You people who did that shit. You don't understand how much that takes out of someone. You don't. You just think, it's Phil. Whatever. Make fun of him, meme on him. You know, fuck that. Dude, you hurt me. Why? What did I ever do to fucking you, man? This year, I'm trying to help these people out. These people are getting false copyright strikes, DMCA takedowns. I'm trying to do what I can to go out of my way to help these people so that they don't lose their YouTube channels, they don't lose their Twitter accounts. If I have an opportunity to counter something, like when YouTube writes me an email and says, was this you? I say, no, stop this immediately. I mean, how many public statements and posts saying it's not me, stop it. I'm trying to actually help the fucking people who earlier this year tried to actually hurt me through their actions. And again, do they think that it actually hurts me? No. They think, oh, the life's all jokes, man. Life's just a joke. So meme it up, and it doesn't matter what we do. We have no responsibility for anything, right? As long as we had some fun streams and fun videos and we made money on it, who cares who it hurts, right? That's being a sociopath. And that's how these people are. They ignore morality because it benefits them. So Darkside Elon, I don't give two shits about the highlight channels existing. Let them exist. I could have myself tried to strike these channels down many, many years ago if I really cared about it that much. I don't do it. I don't care. Let them exist and do whatever they want. It's very true. There are people on a daily basis come in here and say, wow, Phil, I actually checked out your content for the first time because someone was making fun of you. But then I came over here and actually I like your stuff and now I'm a fan, right? This happens every day. I hear someone talking like that. That's cool, man. I appreciate that. I do. That someone actually gave me a shot when all they were doing was watching someone shitting on me constantly, and then they realized maybe all that's not so true. Okay? But there comes a point when that kind of activity, when it crosses a line, is actually hurting me. And when, again, personal shit about my family members behind the scenes has nothing to do whatsoever with my content, or conspiracy theories and slander based on no actual concrete facts but just speculation, but it's pushed as fact. Those things hurt me badly. Badly. And they don't realize that because they don't care. All I care about is the money they made doing it. And that's where I draw the line. All right? So that's why I haven't shut any of them down. That, you know, why, Phil, why don't you just shut all those detractors down? Because I don't fucking care. Let them do what they want. I just wish they would grow up and actually have a conscience and realize that, you know, there's a line that you don't cross, right?
It kills me when he tries to use these manipulative tactics on people who can see right through his bullshit. The people who he's talking about trying to fuck him over on his bankruptcy are the people from Kiwi Farms. And the only thing they did was expose the fact that he was straight up lying on his documents to help swing their decision in his favor. Not only that, but the fact that he was spending thousands on top of thousands on a fucking mobile game, while sitting on his stream crying about donations and acting like he was going broke 24/7. The highlight channels that he goes on about only help showcase this information to their audience, to help prove how much of a fucking liar he can be. He also wants to spin it as people only doing this for donations and views on YouTube, but there are plenty of channels who have their monetization turned off, and the main people who were exposing you on this shit didn't make a cent. Not like it matters. If you want to monetize your content, then I believe you should, as long as you're making proper content or not locking specific information behind paywalls. And knowing Phil, he should know that he's the last person that should preach about morality, with all the multitude of lies and scams he's pulled on his gullible fan base. And speaking about straight up lying to his fan base, we get into more PayPal talk, and Phil claiming that he doesn't see any of the information if you send him a tip with a verified account.
Verified accounts give me extra protection, all right? When there's a verified account involved, it means that the chances of any kind of fraud are incredibly lessened, because that's real info from a real person. And if someone tries to say, oh, you know, well, that's not, I didn't mean to do that or whatever, it's like, well, wait a minute. It's your real name, it's your real address, it's your real bank account. Unless you're saying you have a 5-year-old child who somehow slipped into your office, jumped on Phil's stream, and knew your PayPal info, and sent this tip, you know, you don't have really a leg to stand on. You know what I mean? The anonymous credit card tips are ridiculous. There's like no protection for that shit at all. It's just like, oh, someone sent an anonymous tip, and if there's a chargeback, you're fucked, you know? But that's what I mean, like, with these verified accounts, it's much safer for me as a content creator, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, when you tip me, I get nothing, all right? I see a name, that's the name you chose when you tipped me. I don't even know if it's a legit name or not, all right? Sometimes I'll get an email address. Sometimes I won't, okay? Sometimes it's nothing. You have zero info, okay? If it's a credit card checkout, I get no information at all. It just says, like, if it's a Visa or MasterCard or whatever. That's all it says. I get no information, no name, no number, nothing. No, I've never, ever, in the history of making stream content, seen someone's address because they tipped me. That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. That info was protected by PayPal. They would get sued into oblivion if someone sent you the info every time that they sent you a payment. You can't do that. That does not happen. And no, you don't get someone's real name if there's a verified account. None of that. It's what the person chooses to disclose as their information when they send that payment is what I get. That's it. Why do people have this insane notion that people are doxing themselves when they send a contribution to a streamer? No, That's because you're stupid and you're passing conspiracy theories around the internet to try to say a streamer can't get support. Fuck off. Stop spreading around misinformation. Okay? So, what I'm going to say is, at this point, I don't see any reason to not believe this tip is real. It might not be, but I'm going to say it is for now and count it for the stream. But what I will say is this, guys, we got to understand this very well may be fake. I don't know who John is. All right, I'm just going to say John B. All right. And I'm going to say thank you very much to John B. if this is a real, and again, I apologize, giant fucking segment of my pre-stream dedicated to this because of it. All right. Please understand this could very well be fake. So if you were someone who was thinking of contributing today and I was like, Phil's fine now, I don't have to contribute. It's not the case. It's very well may be fake. It could be charged back right away. It could be charged back. You know what I mean? I almost never see a tip come through from an unverified PayPal account. Usually it's either a verified PayPal account or it's a anonymous credit card. It's one or the other. I almost never see it like this. Okay? So I guess we'll count it. We already have a vest poll going in the stream chat. But please understand, if you were going to contribute, don't say, because this is what happens, sadly. Sometimes people will look and say, wow, Phil got a lot of tips today. That means he doesn't need any support today, right? And then guess what happens? It gets charged back and it means I made nothing. Zero. And that's fucking shit, So I hope this is real. And thank you to John. If this is real, I appreciate the support. I hope you like the content. I have no idea who you are, right? And it sucks that I can't give you a proper thank you or even say, I trust you. It sucks. I even had to talk about this on the fucking stream. It's shitty that I had to. Okay? But that's life, I guess, is that I kind of have to judge and say, what's the risk here, right? Now, I just received another tip, and this one supposedly is from Randy O. Butternut. The question is Randy O. Butternut even here today, and did they really send this tip? Randy, are you here today? And again, I'm sorry that I have to do it this way, I don't think Randy's here. I don't see Randy saying anything in the stream chat. Right? Alright, yep. Randy just confirmed it's fake. So there you go. At least Randy's here. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you responding. So this is the problem, you see? So I get a $100 tip. Don't know if it's real or not, right? Talk about it for a while. Explain to my viewers. Please get a verified account. So what does a person do? I'm going to send a fake tip right now just to fuck Phil over, right? Just in case that tip was real, let's send him a fake tip to fuck Phil over. What a nice person this person is, right? Unfucking believable. Well, thank you, Randy, for confirming that. I appreciate that. All right, we got more shout-outs. Draken Man resub for 6 months says, thanks to Django Pops for my sub gift. Yeah, I think you were saying he had originally gifted you the sub or whatever, and now you're continuing it. Awesome. Thank you for that. Draken Man, of course, thank you, Django Pops, for the original support. Lady Just Strike resub for 2 months. Thank you very much, Lady Just Strike, for 2 months of support. Appreciate that. Big Bad Buffoon did 100-bit cheers. Remember when you and John and Joe had a fatal three-way? You played Scott Pilgrim co-op 10 years ago. The 10th anniversary Ultimate Edition of the game is releasing in January. You're going to replay it and reminisce? No. Number one, I don't think Scott Pilgrim has been relevant in about a decade, right? And number two, that was a co-op game, for couch co-op, and I don't do couch co-op anymore. So if you want to see the playthrough of the game, you can watch it from when it came out 10 years ago. But I have no plans on replaying that game. Chimera Dog Cheery says the streamers playing Cyberpunk are not chosen elite. They email the publisher's PR department and ask for a copy. That's how they get free early copies. I just said that. What about, my God, you don't listen. Some people are deaf. I swear to God. Did you not hear my whole segment where I said, I know I could get a copy of the game. Here's what I would do. I would contact the PR department. I would explain who I am, the reach that I have, the fact that I'm a content creator for as long as I am, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how they get it. I literally just said that. I just fucking said that. Did I say that the publisher magically just sends out copies without any solicitation? No. That's the process you use to get it. That doesn't mean that just because they sent out a request for it, that they weren't selected to get it. There's a lot of people that request these games and don't get them. Okay? So there you go. Melody Zelda cheered 104 bits, which is the biggest cheer of the day. So do you think Twitch will be okay with you streaming Cyberpunk floppy penne in the game? Well, I'm playing the special streamer version that basically has no copywritten or licensed music and no nudity. So it will be fine. I'm doing it on purpose to purposely avoid any issues with this game on YouTube or Twitch. I just want to be able to play it and not get into trouble and not get fucking content ID matches and not get community strikes. I just want to play the fucking game. So that's what I'm doing. Bleach number 9 cheered. He says, Cyberpunk tomorrow, don't give yourself a skin tag. You can go as big as you want. It's a video game. What? Well, I don't even know what that means, but thank you, Bleach. Ninstar Rune cheers. Says, Sung Kwan says, how is John's tip real but Randy's fake? John wasn't here to confirm if his was real or not. We got confirmation Randy's is fake. You understand that? Like, John is uncertain. We don't know if it's real or not. So we'll count it. Right? But you see what I'm saying? Like, if we had confirmation one's wrong or fake, don't count it. There's a difference between it's uncertainty versus certainty it's fake. That's how. Angelo Bestia, are you here today and did you tip me? I think you are, and I think you did. It seems legit, but I just want to verify before I give any kind of a shout out here, just in case this is not you, and then I don't want to misrepresent you. But I do believe that you did actually just tip me. Debunked DSP fan just cheered and said, coming over from YouTube, I missed the day's YouTube comment section was open. Can you turn comments back on? No! I turned the comments off for a very good fucking reason. Okay? A very good fucking reason. As in, the actual fans and viewers of the content demanded it. Because there was such toxicity in the comments, and I wasn't going to sit there actively policing these comments on a daily basis. So because of that, I was actually requested to just fucking, end it all. Turn it off, and I did. And because of that, we avoided any kinds of problems. Okay? And it's been years, by the way. Hasn't it been about 3 years now? I'm trying to remember, was it 2017 or 2018 when I turned off the YouTube comments, but it's an archive of the streams. It's that simple. It says these idiots want to misuse YouTube for malicious reasons, and I don't have a team of people to fucking moderate my comments. It just means there's no comments, and it doesn't affect anything in a negative way at all. It's a positive thing to make it so that they can't do their malicious shit in the comments. I'm not turning the comments back on. That would be insanely stupid. And by the way, Angelo Bestia did not confirm that this is their tip. In fact, I believe that they're not even here today. Therefore, that tip does not count. So there you go. It's another imposter, faker piece of shit, right? Pretty stupid. But it is what it is, I guess, right? All right. Let's see here. I got confused. I'm in the wrong screen. So, let's see here. Hallelujah, he reigns. Just sent me $25, and this is legit. And he says the following. He is skeptical. Let me read his whole thing. He says, be very careful. That $100 tip from a John. It's easy for someone to make an old PayPal account. What? Oh, any old PayPal account. It's suspicious that no bank account is linked to it, especially if they tipped $100. Here's a real tip from a real verified account. Yes, thank you. Hallelujah, he reigns. Now, here's the thing. When you make a PayPal account, all right, but it's unverified, that doesn't mean that a bank account isn't linked to it. And in fact, I'm almost positive in this case there one is, because it didn't mention that it was paid by a credit card. Usually, if a tip is paid by any kind of a credit or debit card, it'll at least say that. It won't give you the info. It won't give you the card or anything. It'll just say, oh, this was a credit card transaction or something like that. This tip was not. This tip actually says it was from a PayPal account that is unverified, but it's registered. Okay? So, it is what it is. I guess all we can do is experiment, right? Keep in mind, this is all new to me. I didn't have to deal with this shit until recently, right? It wasn't until like 2-3 months ago that some malicious parties came in here with literal stolen credit card numbers, constantly putting in fake tips. So this is all an experiment right now, okay? You know, I would say, since I can't verify I can't confirm or deny if this is real, all right? I'm going to leave it for now, but let's use it as an experiment. Now it's been documented. I talked about it for how long today? We know the situation. So if this ends up getting charged back, we can use this as verification if this is fake or not, right? And if it does happen, now I would know, okay, don't really accept that kind of tip in the future because it seems like that's just as risky as the credit card shit, right? That's my take on it anyway. Because I don't know. This could be someone who's just a casual viewer. Wow, I really want to support Phil. They did it. And they're not going to chat. They don't want to maybe get into, you know what happens when people contribute and then they chat. People come after them. So maybe that's the case. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Okay? So we'll see what happens. We'll use it as a test case. It's very rare. And like I said, it's very rare that this would happen. Usually, when a tip comes through, it's either going to be that anonymous credit card shit or it comes from a verified account. And almost never do I get unverified PayPal account payment. Like, it's very rare. So I guess we'll try to see here how it goes. Anyway, thank you, Hallelujah He Reigns, for the legit tip. That is very much appreciated because, you know, like I said, what if this $100 is completely fake? Then it's like having a stream with nothing. So thank you for that. Debunked DSP fan cheered. He says, why is the number 3 person on the cheering leaderboard missing? Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you because on my cheering leaderboard, everything shows. So I don't know what to tell you. There's no one missing on my cheering leaderboard. But I don't know what to tell you. All right? Okay. Oh, it was Rosalina Flower. Who knows? It could be many things. It could be that account was banned for some reason. That happens. It could be they decided to delete their account. It could be that because they've been a cheerer for the past few weeks that they've been harassed by my fucking trolls constantly, and they decided to, rather than to be continuously harassed, they would just delete that account. It could be a million things. Who knows, right? No way to tell. Hallelujah He Reigns tipped me another $1.30 and said, the fact that the regulars like Randy Butternut and Angelo Bestia are having fake tips done in their names now pretty close to when that $100 came in. Whoever's sending the fake tips is trying to confuse you. Maybe, but those other tips were done via the usual anonymous credit card checkout, which those are the ones that if you're going to do a fake tip, all right, that's how you do it because you're using a stolen credit card. So you're committing a felony every time you do this, by the way. You bought a stolen credit card number over the internet. That's a felony. You then purchase something with said stolen credit card. That's a felony. You know, these are all felonies. This person who did this is like could go to jail for a very, very long time, right? So, I guess we'll see. All right, we'll see what happens. Yes, Angelo Bestia, they did. They tipped in your name, and they tried to say something that could be pretty gross. That's why I really didn't know if it was you, and I was trying to verify. So, yeah, someone impersonated you today, if you can believe it. Pretty stupid, isn't it? Oh, brother. All right, guys. Well, anyway, we got through it. Now let's do quick shout-outs for the top cheerers of the week. Okay? Thank you to those who have cheered so far this week. I appreciate that very much. Excuse me. Man, yuck. Thank you for that. So, top cheers of the week so far. The week is young. Stinkin' Burrows is in 10th place. Ladies Man is in 9th. Local Nomad is in 8th. It's Sick It Piss is in 7th. Golden Colts is in 6th. Metalhead is in 5th. The Hated is in 4th. Or the Hated 1 is in 4th. Rosalina Flowers in 3rd. Rob on Wheels is in 2nd. And Sambuca is currently in 1st place. Thank you, guys. I just punched my microphone by accident. I was trying to grab my mouse, and I just, like, gave it a right hook. Okay. Thank you to those who did cheer so far this week. According to my leaderboard, there have been no gifted subs so far this week. Excuse me. So. Melody Zelda cheered. He said, it's funny to see Angry Joe streaming Cyberpunk with full-on nudity. The difference is he won't get mass reported by morons on the internet. You're right, he won't. So there'll be no issue with him doing that. With anything that I do that even toes the line of something that could be risky, I can't do. Because there's going to be mass reports from me playing Cyberpunk even when I don't have it. They'll still say I have it. Oh my god, did you see the nudity on Phil's stream? And they'll report the stream. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have streamer mode on. Right? But it's true. It's just like people get away with shit all the time because they don't have toxic idiots following them around the internet. You know, but I do, so it is what it is. Timbo says, should I play Cyberpunk when it unlocks at 6 p.m. on PC or wait until midnight? Why would you wait until midnight? Play it when it unlocks, right? Why on earth would you wait until midnight? If it unlocks on PC at 6 p.m., play it at 6. Okay. All right, guys, so that is it for the pre-stream. Let's end it. I take a break to use the bathroom. All right, and I'll be back. 3 new hours of fun Yakuza 7 gameplay right around the corner. And I hope to see you for that. I hope you're not going to ditch me now because the pre-stream's over. Okay. All right, I shall be back. Thank you, and see you in a few minutes.
Now, after doing some research, I didn't see anything about getting the address of whoever tips you on PayPal. You do in fact get their name and email address, so I don't understand why Phil had to lie about something so pointless. Another thing I don't understand about the whole chargeback saga is how will Phil lose money that he never really had in the first place? If $100 gets charged back, that doesn't mean that $100 gets taken out of Phil's bank account. He just never really had the $100 to begin with. Only someone like DSP could turn something so simple as tipping a streamer into a convoluted mess and force his fans to put up with it. And if you try to ask him any questions about it, he'll get upset, because Phil doesn't like it when you ask questions that seem like they're doubting his logic.
DarkSydePhil did 2 cheers that are all about PayPal and personal shit about how PayPal works and behind the scenes stuff. DarkSydePhil, how about this? How about you mind your own fucking business? How about that? How about instead of asking about stolen credit card numbers and shit like this, how about you just listen to what I have to say and either believe me or don't, and stop asking insanely detailed questions about how PayPal works, because no one else fucking cares. Alright? So the reason you're asking is because you don't believe me. You think I'm some kind of a liar. I'm fabricating all this stuff. Well, fuck off then. If you don't believe me, then you can leave. You don't have to be here. Alright? Stop being a dick. How about that? No, seriously, it's like, people are going to ask these insanely detailed questions about the ins and outs of how tipping and PayPal works. Well, number one, you're not a streamer. You don't understand it. You don't need to understand it. Number two, obviously you're asking me that because you don't believe me because you're a fucking dickhead who thinks that I sit here and lie all day. Well, then go watch the Detractor stream where they talk about that, okay? And leave me the fuck alone, shithead.
Now, taking a quick break from talking about chargebacks, it was revealed that Phil had a court date on December 14th that was going over his foreclosure on his condo in Connecticut. When this was brought to Phil's attention on stream on December 8th, Phil claimed that he didn't know about this since no one had ever told him, and tried to spin it as the trolls being stupid. But I think it really shows how irresponsible of an adult he is, that random people on the internet can keep up with this foreclosure case better than he can, even though he's the one that's supposed to be dealing with this. So Phil pulls the usual Phil move and tells all his detractors that they failed in trying to take him down, and how he's still successful on Twitch.
What is this? An anonymous sub gift to get a sub to December 14th. What does that mean? What's December 14th? I swear sometimes shit just goes right over my head. I have no clue what that significance of that was. Zero. December 14th is a new detractor meme. I have no idea what it means.
The ETA of Baby Burnell? No, there's no kids, so that's certainly not it.
It's a court date? I don't have a court date on December 14th. To my knowledge, so yeah, someone just gifted me a sub as his court date. I'm serious, I'm dead serious. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Zero. I have no clue what you're talking about at all. So it sounds to me like these people are trying to snoop behind the scenes into personal matters, and I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I have absolutely no clue. I have no court date that I am aware of set for December 14th. All right.
This is where he kept the rods he'd loaned out.
The only thing
so
I can think of.
Rod doing here? He always kept it separate.
And this has nothing to do with the playthrough, so I'm not going to derail this. Oh, it's for foreclosure? Good! If that is the case, and they're actually foreclosing my Connecticut condo on the December 14th, I'm happy! That's a good thing. That would mean if they finally foreclose, I don't have to fucking pay the dues on the place anymore, and I'm finally done with it. Yes, I would be 100% done with it. But I'm serious about this. I don't know anything about it. No one told me anything about a court date on December 14th at all. I am aware that the mortgage company was granted the ability to foreclose by a judge. That's all I know. I was never told that there would be anything else in regards to that. So this is hilarious because these people are like giving me, oh, we're gonna really stick it to Phil by gifting himself. I don't even know what you're talking about. I really don't know clue. I didn't know I knew that's what this was about. But anyway, again, this is what I mean. They really obsess over stupid shit. If this is what it is, if that's what they're talking about, I'm happy. That means on December 14th, if there's a full foreclosure proceeding and it goes through, I'm free. Finally, I don't have to I'm done with that fucking bullshit of having to pay dues every month for a fucking place that I don't use, don't have, and I gave them permission to foreclose on it like 8-9 months ago, and they just dragged their feet all fucking year. I'd be super happy if they fucking actually foreclose on it on the 14th. I don't even know what else this would be in regards to, okay? I've said this a million times, Carlos, you idiot. There's no deficiency judgment. There cannot be a deficiency judgment because I gave up the property during the bankruptcy. They agreed to it. Therefore, there's no way there could be a deficiency judgment. But, all right, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this very, very briefly, and I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Anyone who thinks they know better than people who do this for a living is a fucking idiot, okay? It doesn't matter how much you hate me. Just because you want to fantasize that something's going to ruin my life, it's not going to happen, all right? I have a lawyer. The lawyer did things during the course of my proceedings to make sure that things would happen in a certain way, okay? There's not going to be any ruling against me. There can't be legally because I am fine. I did everything the proper way I was supposed to do to protect me from this kind of shit, okay? I'm not dumb. Why would I have given permission for them to go forward with the foreclosure earlier this year if that wasn't what I wanted? But this is what I mean. These people on fucking Kiwi Farms sit there and microanalyze like they know anything. They don't know anything. They were wrong about the bankruptcy. Every step of the way, every word that they said was absolutely wrong about the bankruptcy. They didn't know a thing about what they were talking about. They were completely wrong, and the bankruptcy was granted just like it should have been. Now, oh, he's going to get a deficiency judgment against him. There's no deficiency. It doesn't exist. You can't have a deficiency when you gave up a property during a bankruptcy because you already relinquished the property and they agreed to it. Therefore, they gave up any right to a deficiency judgment. That's why you give up the property during the bankruptcy. But they, see what I mean? Well, no, Phil's still gonna get screwed. These idiots don't understand. All right? Let me explain this in a nutshell. All right? This year, you tried to ruin my life. You failed. Miserably. You tried really badly, and you made me spend a lot of extra time and money that I shouldn't have had to spend. But you failed. Miserably. 1,000,000%. Anyone who got involved in that process, you're a fucking pathetic life failure. You're a laughing stock. You are a joke because you put all of your time and effort to try to ruin my life and you failed. I'm having a better time now than ever on my streams. I'm having a better time in my personal life. You took your shot and you missed horribly. Stop trying to live with this pipe dream fantasy that some crazy thing is going to happen and fuck me over. You took your chance.
You failed. You're done. It's over. You lose. Good day, sir.
Now, let's move on and play a fun video game. Fuck those idiots. 50-bit Quan, cheers. If the date is the date of a foreclosure, shouldn't you know that? I'm sure I should, and I seriously don't. No one's told me shit. I'm serious about this. I haven't been in the loop about anything all year. No lawyers have been contacting me. I only find out things very, very after the fact, okay? Like, I did get a notice in the mail that a judge ruled that they can now foreclose. I got that. That's all I got. You're serious? I got nothing. So, and why would I care? I'm not liable for anything. I did everything the right way. I know I did everything the right way. That's why we did it that way. I'm not stupid. So, let the morons speculate as much as they want on their fucking restreams right now on Kiwi Farms. Let them all spin and get all excited. Nothing's gonna happen. Just like with the bankruptcy, nothing's gonna happen. Everything's gonna be fine. I did everything the right way. Let's get on with our lives and let them waste their time, okay? I'm not gonna address it anymore, so if you bring it up, I'm just gonna ignore you.
Yeah, Phil. I'm sure we're all jealous about not being bankrupt, or even being $500,000 in debt to begin with. Now, I'm sure there are detractors out there who genuinely want to see you lose everything, but the majority of his trolls, especially the ones on YouTube, only want to laugh at your position in life. We're not angry that you had your bankruptcy granted. We're surprised that you went through 14 credit cards to spend on mobile games, and somehow came out of it unscathed. People find you fascinating because you're the go-to example of how streamers shouldn't treat their fan base. You act like the world and everybody in it owes you something, but they don't, and they never will. You never put in any actual effort when it comes to streaming. You do the bare minimum for maximum profit. You couple that with your toxic narcissism, along with your shitty gameplay ability, and you get the perfect disaster. You're a car crash for people to point to and laugh at, because you'll get into another one and crash that bitch too. So nobody's upset with the fact that you're still here, because as long as you're streaming, there's gonna be people like me who's gonna discuss what you're doing and laugh about how much of a failure you are. So you can go on about how we lost and how nothing bad is gonna happen to you, but that isn't gonna stop people from pointing a finger at you and saying,
My dick and balls, right? You know every inch of my dick and balls.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him?
Now, keeping on topic with court dates and all that other shit, we get quite the pre-stream on December 11, 2020. It was brought to Phil's attention from an undercover detractor that there was going to be a class action lawsuit that was going to be administered mainly towards him, in hopes of getting Twitch to change their rules about streamers like Phil begging on their platform. Not only that, but they were going to use DJ Runo's $20 tip as a leading factor for their case, while also trying to get DJ Runo to personally represent himself in this stance against Phil. Now clearly this whole thing was a troll, and the guy who sent Phil this message was most likely baiting for a response. Now if Phil was even half as intelligent as he claims to be, then he would have clearly seen this for what it was, and paid no attention to it. He could have just swept it under the rug, or kept it behind the scenes as he likes to say, and nobody would have even cared. But Phil doesn't think like the rest of us, cause Phil is special. So he talked about it.
Oh, alright, I guess I will. There's one thing, guys, I want to talk about publicly on the pre-stream today. It's probably going to shock most of you. I don't know if this actually has any validity, alright? I am literally going to read you a message I received this morning, word for word. Okay? I'm not going to spin it. I'm just going to read this for you, to you. Word for word. You guys ready? I just got this email. Check this out. Hello, Phil. I've been undercover among the detractors and doing some private investigating. It appears that the Kiwi Farms community is trying to organize a class action lawsuit, which would indict many popular streamers, DarkSydePhil named specifically, for solicitation of funds under the false guise of project crowdfunding. Essentially, they're using DJ Runo's $20 tip as a means to pressure Twitch to change its tipping policies and create stricter rules, making it more difficult for streamers to ask directly for funds or beg, as they snidely put it. They claim to have a private lawyer with a vested interest, in this case, on the job. It has to be Nick Riccietta doing this for attention. Here's their problem. They want DJ Runo to represent their group, but he's unsure whether he wants to be involved. You need to reach out to DJ Runo now and nip this in the butt. You do that and we won't have anything to worry about. Stay strong, Phil. I'll let you know if I have any more relevant information. Just listen to this. Okay? Holy shit. Alright. So let's talk about this, alright? Let's talk about this. First of all, I couldn't even begin to tell you how stupid this is. All right, I couldn't begin to tell you how stupid this is. But this is the level of intelligence of the people who actually try to like hurt me and do shit. That's how nuts they are. All right. First of all, let's just pick this apart. A class action lawsuit. Okay, do you know what a class action lawsuit is? I'll explain. It's a lawsuit that's filed. There's usually one plaintiff, meaning one person who claims they were affected by something, and they file it on behalf of a large group of people who then would try to chime in or jump in on said lawsuit. So, for example, let's say this actually happened to me once before. Ticketmaster is a company that used to sell tickets to everyone on the East Coast. I don't know if they were nationwide, but it was the East Coast of the United States. It was found that at one point Ticketmaster was charging exorbitant fees for no reason. Like, there was no justification. They were just making shit up. But everyone was paying them because it was the company you had to go through to buy tickets for any live events. Someone sued them in a class action lawsuit. One, because it was proven in court that they were making stuff up just to make extra money. These fees weren't justified. And then in a class action lawsuit, people were able to jump on and claim, hey, can I get something out of this? And basically what everyone got was like a free set of tickets. Who had bought tickets from Ticketmaster in like a 5-year period. Everyone got like a free set of tickets or something like that. Okay? So, that's a class action lawsuit. All right? For anyone to even entertain the fact that they would think that there's going to be a class action lawsuit against who? Streamers in general? because that's how it sounds like. It says that I'm named specifically, but this is supposed to be against streamers in general. What are you talking about? How does that, what would have to happen is someone in a court of law would have to prove that there was something illegal done. Okay? What exactly are you claiming? Because when a streamer is streaming and says, "Hey, I'm providing you a free service. Please, if you would like to, willingly support this service," okay? And in the premise that I will continue to do it, okay? If anyone willingly contributes to that stream, okay, at all, and then that content creator continues to make content, like they don't cut and run, you know what I mean? There's not a legal leg to stand on. The only case where this would actually maybe have some merit, if there was a content creator or a streamer who ran a big event, and they said, "Man, well, I'm doing this giant fundraising event. Please contribute to this event because I'm concretely going to do something with the money that I raise. I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to buy a new PC," or I guess a big case here would be a charity drive. I'm going to do a big charity event, and all the money I raise for charity, goes to charity. And then people jump up, and a ton of people contribute, right? And then the person lied and doesn't actually put that money towards anything they said they were going to put it towards, right? That, I guess, would be grounds if someone actually wanted to sue someone and say you were misrepresenting what you were doing raising these funds, right? But in general, a content creator who just comes out and says, "Hey, I'm a content creator. I put out content. It's free. Come watch. But if you like the content, contribute, support it, and I'll continue to make it." As long as they're still making it in a reasonable amount of time, then there's no reason at all that anyone could even sue. There's no grounds. Okay? So the fact that any idiot would actually think that this has any legal merit is hilariously stupid. Okay? Now, as for this DJ Runo $20 tip, I'm going to be honest with everyone. I have no idea what this is about at all. I remember DJ Runo used to be a frequenter of the streams and used to contribute, and I know they're not here anymore. I guess at some point there was something that the detractors blew into a giant thing. I don't even know what it is. I don't remember. I honestly, honest to God, don't remember. So, see, people are calling him DJ Refund. I don't even know what that is. Was there something that happened where he wanted a refund for a tip? I don't even know. That's what I mean. Like, to me, this is just so stupid. What? DJ Refund tipping $20 for Untitled Goose Game. That's what people are saying. Okay. You mean the game I play? DJ Runo left after you messed with $20 where you didn't buy Untitled Goose Game. But I did buy Untitled Goose Game and I played it. So what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. See what I mean? Like, do you guys see my perspective? I'm a guy who every day I'm here, I play new games. I just do. So people contribute. They come and go. I don't even know what you're talking about. I really don't. So apparently the detractors, because this is what they do. They take little innocuous things that happen and they blow them up into like big things out of nowhere for no reason. And then they act like there's some big deal. So I guess when people, I'm trying to piece this together, when people are telling me in the stream chat over a year ago, right? Because wasn't this last year? Or maybe even before then. Basically, from what I'm understanding, DJ Runo tipped me some money to play Untitled Goose Game, and I didn't play it at first. So he got upset, but then I eventually played it. So it's that simple. All right? It's just that simple. And for me to think that something that happened over a year ago, I guess, is something that's still pertinent in the minds of these obsessive weirdos on a place like Kiwi Farms, it blows my fucking mind. It does. Like, these people are still thinking. This is the least thing in my mind from anything that I've thought about this entire year. I mean, I haven't thought about Untitled Goose Game in a year. So why the fuck would anyone even be talking about this or care about it? This is how crazy these fucking people are. Now, what's hilarious about this, I'm reading this email. All right. It must be Nick Rekita or whatever doing this. He's the attorney. No, he's not. He's not him. He wouldn't be anywhere involved. He wouldn't touch this with a 1,000,000-foot pole because Nick is not a fucking idiot, right? Nick is an actual lawyer, and intelligent people don't do stupid things. So that's how dumb these people are. They assume it must be Nick. What are you talking about, Nick? Nick would not be involved in this. He's going to do stuff that he feels is going to profit him or benefit him. Being in a frivolous lawsuit is not going to benefit him or his law firm. All right, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Okay? As for, did we want DJ Runo to represent the group? What the fuck are you talking about? One guy who sent a $20 tip specifically asking for a game. The game didn't get played right away. Then, if I remember, because I'm starting to remember, because people are saying this was on a Minecraft stream, I guess someone impersonated him on that stream, saying stuff, and like it wasn't really him. Like someone was impersonating DJ Runo and saying negative stuff, like, oh, you know, you're an asshole or whatever for not playing the game. And so I went on a rant saying, if that's really him saying that, that's fucked up. You know, why would he do that? This is really messed up. This guy essentially went to detractors to try to get ammo so he could do a false report against Twitch against me. He can go fuck himself. I don't ever want to hear from him ever again. And I hope that he fucking never, ever involves himself with myself or my content ever again. I don't need support from an asshole like that. I don't need an asshole backhandedly supporting me when in reality all he's doing is trying to get something out of me. And then whenever things don't go his way, instead of being basically a decent human, turns into a complete piece of shit and tries to get me in trouble. Go fuck yourself, DJ Runo. Seriously, don't ever come back. No one wants you here, especially me. And then later on, people were like, well, that wasn't even him anyway. And I was like, all right, well, my bad then. If it wasn't him, it wasn't him. But my thoughts are, you know, again, just sending stuff and expecting stuff to a streamer, you know, you shouldn't do that. And then I ended up playing Entitled Goose Game anyway, so no one cared. This is coming like... And yeah, Eternal Napalm, to my knowledge, this was over a year ago, right? This was over a year ago that this happened. But anyway, that's what I mean. So I get this email this morning. I read it. I'm like, what? Like, first of all, class action lawsuit is hilarious. So that's even the worst way to go about it. If you were going to do an actual direct lawsuit, okay, you would do it because you actually feel like you've been wronged in a legal way by someone. Doing a class action lawsuit would imply that there's a giant group of people who were defrauded, all right? Or, excuse me, defrauded by someone. And there's somehow going to be legal evidence of that. But you can't have a mass defrauding with a content creator on the internet who's saying, I'm giving you my content for free. You see what I'm saying? If this were Kickstarter, and on Kickstarter someone said, if I raise this amount of money, I will produce this product. And everyone crowdfunds it, they raise the money, and they don't produce the product, now you have grounds to go after someone. That's not what streaming is. It never has been. There's no direct promise of anything besides, I just want to keep streaming, right? So this is just hilarious that any idiot would actually think this has merit, and to even like talk about it is lunacy, actually. It's just insanity, it's stupidity. And the fact that Kiwi Farms is talking about it, I mean, that just proves the level of intelligence of the people over there. You have to be a genuine nitwit to think that this would actually have any legal merit.
Now, of course, nothing really came out of this whole lawsuit business besides Phil spurting out about absolutely nothing. But that's not the only reason for wanting to bring up this specific pre-stream. You see, there's this thing called Line App. It's basically like a messaging service like Discord or Skype. And the people who make guilds or factions on WWE champions will often use Line App as a way of communicating. Now, what does this have to do with DSP? Well, apparently, to use Line App, you need to have a number registered and verified to make an account, meaning that you have to get a verification code from your SMS text messages, which means nobody will have access to that type of information except Phil. So when a well-known detractor, TJ Gamebox, did some snooping and used Phil's personal phone number to see if he had an account, he found that not only did he already have an account set up, the account linked to the same handle he had on WWE Champions. Now, most of this evidence is provided by Kiwi Farms, thanks to a post made by LXB. He also linked the video along with this to prove that none of it was photoshopped. This had pretty much solidified that Phil was playing the game 100%, and when confronted about it, Phil could only use the only self-defense he knows, which was to play stupid.
So debunked DSP fan cheered. He says, just to let you know, if you come across it, the Line app is a new detractor meme. Okay? What the hell is the Line app? I don't even know what the fuck that is, so... Alright. Sure, if you say so. The Line app is the new detractor meme. Okay. Add me on Line app did 100 bitches. Oh, here you go. Add me on Line app. Apparently, this is the detractor me. He says, I used to watch This How You Don't Play videos. I believed you were a terrible person. I decided to give you a chance and watch you on live stream. I have to say I was right. So there you go. It's the new detractor me. Very nice. Fucking idiot. Okay, then. All right. The debunked DSP fan, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I really don't. He says, your number was doxed, is registered as They Call Me DSP on Line app. Line app was used by some on WWE mobile game meme. What? What the fuck? You're still, first of all, you're still on this mobile game. Shit. There's still, this is still a thing. We're at the end of 2020. This is still a thing. Good God. And Line app. I can't even understand this. Let me read this again. Your number that was doxed is registered as They Call Me DSP on the Line app. The Line app was used by some on the WWE mobile game meme. I still don't understand it because I don't know what the Line app is. My number? You mean my phone number? What does my phone number have to do with an app? I think I'm just asking too many questions. Like, who cares? Right? I think I'm asking way too many questions here. That's my problem. I should just say, okay, it's a stupid detractor thing. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but if someone was mentioning Line app, I guess it's the new detractor meme and I can ignore it. All right. Fair enough. I get it. I don't care. And I'm going to have nothing to do with it. Okay? Absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm just not going to pay any attention to it. Thanks for telling me, and that's enough of that nonsense. Now I don't have to pay attention to it anymore.
And now with this overwhelming amount of evidence stacked against him, and Phil not providing any proof to clear his name other than playing stupid, it was starting to make some people who was following DSP wonder where their money was really going to. So of course, Phil made an attempt at damage control and stated that anyone who mentioned anything about Line app was going to be banned from his chat.
Okay, a few things. Alright, guys? Just to forewarn everyone. Few stupid detractor memes today. I don't know what the fuck half of them even mean. Like, someone tried to explain one on the stream earlier today, and I was just so confused. I don't even care. So, there's some idiots who are trying to do detractor memes here on the stream today. They did it for half of my stream earlier today, and they keep fucking annoying me with it on stream earlier today, and I apologize for that. So, if we see the stupid detractor memes popping up, I'll do my best to take care of it. But I don't really even understand what it is. But some people have been annoying me. Now it seems like there's another meme where people are now harassing me about the forums or something. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm here to play games and have fun. I'm not going to listen to what the idiots are saying on their own fucking streams and their own garbage content, because it doesn't mean anything. It's pointless. Okay? So, if I see something here in the stream that's trying to derail and talk about shit that has nothing to do with the content of my stream or anything we're talking about, I'm just going to take care of it myself. Alright? I'm just saying it up front. I'm not going to put up with that shit.
And if you notice that, he mentioned getting harassed on the forums. That's because some of the people who really believed in DSP have now started to see the writing on the wall, and we're now wanting a direct answer instead of the bullshit he's been telling them on stream, causing DSP to respond back in locked threads.
I'm not going to respond to anything that I've previously addressed, so the only new thing here is this Line app that people trolled my chat about today, and even told me about this thread specifically. I know nothing about it. I've never used it, and I certainly never made any account in it. The fact that my private info was doxed in 2014, but somehow people think that anything that was made public in that doxing is evidence of anything, is pretty insanely stupid. People have used DSP, DSP Gaming, DarkSydePhil, They Call Me DSP, among many, many other variations to register me for every single website, mailing list, app, and service on the internet in an attempt to either one. Impersonate me and make me look bad, or two. Sign me up for tons of shit to troll me. Same with the phone number that was doxed and my email addresses. Your phone number is linked to a Line profile proven to belong to you unless someone hacked into the app's database or someone stole your phone, created an account, and left it without you knowing about it. The Line account has the same original name of the mobile game profile, and this app is a known avenue used for communicating in that game. You claim you don't know anything about any of this. You're right, I don't, and I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. Just because an account exists doesn't mean I made it or that it's mine, nor does it prove it ever had association with this WWE mobile game. You have to make so many logic jumps to even make this some kind of circumstantial evidence. Is there a conversation somewhere that proves I used Line App Oregon, that it was used with people playing this game? Does the conversation prove that it's actually me? This is the same incredibly flawed evidence that was tried to prove I somehow had a Discord account that never proved anything at all, because even with entire pages of conversation, not once did anything have association with me besides the login name, They Call Me DSP. People make shit up on the internet to try to hurt me daily. Remember when a chat mod of mine pretended to be a female for an entire year and created an entire new internet persona for themselves to catfish people in my stream chat and try to undermine my bots to get me banned from Twitch? Remember when I started dating Kat and someone across the globe pretended that I was lying about her and actually using my viewers' contributions to hire them as an escort and fly them across the planet to spend time with me? Remember when this year someone called into my bankruptcy hearing and pretended to be one of my creditors to try and get personal information about my finances live on the internet? Or how about daily when I get fake tips impersonating my regular stream viewers that are actually stolen credit cards that someone is buying on a daily basis to do this and make sure I get charged back later? Those are felonies being committed on a daily basis. All of those things are far more insane than believing that someone is making fake accounts to try and troll me on chat apps, especially when, again, my info was doxed in 2014. And the kicker here, you don't even know that I still use the same phone number, and I certainly wouldn't have announced that I'd changed it to the world for fear that these kinds of things would persist if someone found out the new one. You have drank the Kool-Aid, and with zero actual evidence, but just a ton of circumstantial stuff that still proves nothing, you've condemned me. How about this? Wake up from this insanity and mind your own damn business. If you can't separate conspiracy from fact, move on and stop watching my content like so many already surely have. I don't have time to deal with daily delusions of a mob of gullible people who are intent on believing anything at all that's spun about me for a laugh. But don't make a post like this on the site again, ever.
This isn't the only example of one of Phil's fans calling him out on the forums. There was another person, More. Now if you don't know who this person is, they are an adamant defender of Phil and his shenanigans. Not only that, they are also the person who draws more of Phil's legitimate pre-stream art. And whether it was on Kiwi forums or in the YouTube comment section, Moore was there to defend DSP from any accusations he was going through. But apparently, this new information about the Line app was enough for Moore to finally start questioning Phil instead of blindly believing him to be an innocent victim of troll behavior. They had a whole back and forth on the forums, and Phil has since deleted the post, but James DeLisser still has a video archiving the discussion they had. Now I know you all have your split opinions about James DeLisser, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description for any of those people who care enough to look further into it. To summarize it though, it was basically Phil doing his best to avoid giving any direct answers or showing any confirmation that the account wasn't his, then proceeded to lock the discussion after warning Moore to never bring this topic up again. But no matter how much damage control, no matter how much he tried to avoid the conversation, people weren't letting go of this newfound discovery so easily.
50-bit Big Boy, I don't know anything about this stupid Line app. I don't know how it works. People are telling me things about it. I know nothing about it. All I know is I have nothing to do with it at all. I don't have an account on fucking Line. I never did anything with it. I don't know anything about it. So whoever did it in my name, if it exists. I can't confirm it exists or doesn't exist. Sounds like someone made an account in my name to try to fucking screw me over, just like Discords and everything else that's happened this year. I know nothing about it. But it sounds like you're a conspiracy theorist, doesn't it? 50-bit Big Boy, you have to enter a code from an SMS message when you download the app. The troll has access to your text messaging. I'd contact the authorities if I were you. Oh my god. I'm just, seriously, like there's no way to dupe one of these app companies into thinking that you are using a phone number that you're not, right? Or, there's no possible way that in the 6 years since my cell phone's been doxxed that I changed my number, right? No way possible that I would have possibly done that, right? Anyway, I'm not even going to waste time on this anymore because it's so stupid. 50-bit Big Boy Cheer said, show your phone and dunk on the conspiracy theorists. My God, you're an idiot. I mean it now. You're an idiot. Yes, because showing my phone totally couldn't possibly give away stuff that people would use to hurt me. Boy, you're dumb.
The fact that DSP couldn't do something as simple as showing his phone to display his innocence clearly proves otherwise. Nobody who's being accused of something would willingly go out of their way to make themselves look even more guilty by not providing evidence, and lashing out at people who only wanted to get a genuine answer out of him. But he would rather stick his head in the sand and try his best to ignore everything, all while claiming he's going through chargeback after chargeback. Like this fucking tweet right here, claiming that Brunel Enterprises is in the red. But let's all remember what he told us. DSP is not running a business.
So there is a lot of positivity going on behind the scenes. The problem is all the work that I put into this entity, it's not a business. It's because it's not. I don't own a business. I don't legally own a business anywhere. Being self-employed, this self-employment legacy.
Phil wants to force this narrative that there's really this dedicated troll out there who's pulling this insane long con, and somehow has private information that only Phil will have. And we should also believe that all of this evidence is clearly fabricated, even though it's proven that Phil has a history of terrible spending habits, especially when it comes to gaming. Let's not forget the money matches, or the traveling expenses. Hell, let's not forget the fact that he's admitted to spending money on mobile games, especially Hearthstone. So in conclusion, his narrative is stupid as fuck. And if he truly thinks that anyone with half a brain would be dumb enough to believe that bullshit, then... fuck, never mind.